Hello, 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 hello. It's nice to have you back on the channel. It's Kate Inspires. This is where we get to inspire one another to do better, to get better, to fulfill purpose, and also be sure that we are financially free. Because, as I always say, if you have a sense of fulfillment of purpose and you're not financially free, you are going to live a life of frustration with the issues of life coming all around you due to your lack of financial empowerment. And then if you have all the money in the world and you don't have a sense of fulfillment, you are not fulfilled purpose wise, you will end up depressed. Why? Because after making all the money, you're asking yourself, what next? And no one can answer that question because you feel this emptiness from within you. And such a person will live a life, we end his life in depression. So for us not to live a life of depression or a life of frustration, we've come together as a people to create a channel where we get to inspire one another to do better, to fulfill purpose, and as much as we are fulfilling purpose, finding ways to legally and morally capitalize on our talent, our giftings, our values, to also have financial empowerment, so that as much as we are contributing to the world, we're also making sure that we and our generation are not being left out in the place of finance. And today we'll be talking about something very, very interesting, something I see a whole lot of people missing, and I felt we should discuss. So if you are joining us for the first time, you are welcome. It's nice to have you here. We'd like to see more of you, so we'd like you to subscribe. And if you haven't liked it yet, I need to like the channel, subscribe, share with friends, share with families, tell them to also subscribe. Let's expand the community. Let's touch more lives. The more we are, the better it is. The more formidable the team is, the more we can interact, the more we can get to share with one and all that. And I remain at the Adewumi, popularly known as Kate, the shy guy who is now on the camera doing this. So today we'll be talking about something a few people have discovered. A lot of people want to become financially free. A lot of people want to become millionaires. A few like us want to become billionaires, and extremely few, like someone like me, wants to enter the realms of trillions. But it saddens my heart to discover that a whole lot of people make the mistake the majority makes. You cannot follow the path of the majority and want to make something much more than the majority makes. No, for every field, in every part, in every career line, in every sector, there's a particular amount of finance that is channeled into that sector. There's a volume of finance, of wealth, that is in a particular sector, in a particular field, in a particular career path. So if you are in a sector, if you're in an economy, if you're in a part where there are a lot of ants who can get done what you also know how to partake of the finances there, then you will be limited to the amount of money you can make, the amount of wealth you can accumulate for yourself. So how do I mean? You choose a career path, for instance, or you told the path, for instance, where 1,000,001 people can do exactly what you know how to do, to partake of, to get their own share of the total world finance in that sector. You will still have to split the money, split the wealth with 1,000,001 people. But if you decide to choose a sector where probably just 10 people in the world, just 50 people in the world, just 100 people in the world are in and can do what it takes to make the most out of it, then you have a lesser amount of people to contend with. Which means, for instance, there are 10 sectors and the total world wealth is said to be probably, let's say we are dealing with $10 trillion, for instance, and there are 10 sectors. And $1 trillion is scattered amongst all 10 sectors, which means each sector gets $1 trillion. In total, the world's total wealth put together is $10 trillion. Now you're in a sector where only 100 people have found that part and are towing that part. That means only you and 99 other people, 100 of you, will have to share $1 trillion. If you are all able to split that evenly amongst yourself, it means each of you will be going with a reasonable amount of money. But now imagine you find yourself in a sector where 1,000 people have to share $1 trillion. How much do you think you are going to make that will make you equal to one of those where they are just 100 in that sector? Now imagine you having to share $1 trillion with 1 trillion people. How much do you think you are going to go in on with? Just $1. You see it now. So to make the most out of your life, to make a reasonable amount of money, to accumulate a reasonable amount of wealth, you need to begin to discover those parts that few do. And why will few people know about the parts that can give them, that can make them so much money, that can help them amass so much wealth and no one to go through it? Just three reasons. One, a whole lot of people are scared because such parts are always having larger amount of risk. So the first thing you want to look for is what career path, what sector, what part of life, what financial part are people scared of going through. When you meet 10, 15 people and you ask them, what do you want to do, what are you doing to make money, how do you earn, you see almost over half of them do something similar to earn what they earn. There may be one or two people will give you something completely different which you yourself might not even know about. So that means that one or two people know and they are doing, and they are also making money. It's a path less traveled by people. So you want to discover which part are people scared of. This is a path that has the possibility of giving me financial freedom. But this part, a whole lot of people are scared of it. Why? Because the tax in it is much, the discipline it requires is much, the motivate nobody is there to motivate you in the early days. You are going all by yourself. The risk is high. The chances of failing are high. You want to find that part. The second thing you need to know about such parts is people. A whole lot of people must have failed trying to toll that part, which is why a whole lot of people are running away from that part. So after finding the path people are scared of going, then you also want to be sure that that path has made a whole lot of people fail. That so much that only very few people end up being successful on that path because of the negative results of those who have tried, of the majority of those who have tried following that path. A whole lot of people don't want to go through that path. Why? Because naturally, we human beings are designed to be afraid of failure. We are built to be scared of failing. So when you hear A for try this thing and it didn't work, B try this thing and it didn't work, C tried it and it didn't work, and but E one way or the other was able to try it and was able to scale through because four people have tried that didn't work. That one person that tried and worked, you see it as luck. And why? What do? You are naturally designed to say no, I'll withdraw from this path and try a path where 10 people can go in and 8 or 9 will come out with results. So you want to find that part where only very few people are successful at. And then because of that, the fear of failure has made majority leave that part. It is that part you want to do. Why? Because a whole lot of millions, a whole lot of trillions are waiting for you there. Once you can master what it takes to follow that path. Then the third thing you want to discover about such paths is that part only, even amongst those who dare to tow it, only very few, extremely few people get to the land of gold mine. Only extremely few people get to the land where the real results are. Why? Because it's not a get rich quick scheme kind of path. It's not a sow your seed today, reap your fruits tomorrow. No, no, no. Such parts are parts that are demanding. They are parts that need people with tenacity. They are parts that need people who can persevere. They are parts that need people who can be persistent. Such parts are parts that need people who can be consistent. That means it needs people who they don't mind putting in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, five, some needs 10 years before they get results. So because such parts are more demanding, such parts don't give instant result. Majority are scared of following that path. But meanwhile, if you follow such path, even if it takes you 10 years to get to the level where you really begin to get the results, just one result, just one result you make in 10 years will cover for a lifetime of effort from people who follow the less, less demanding paths. That's the word. So you want to ask yourself, what part are people scared of? What part has made majority feel that is now making majority run away from? And what part needs more time and patience for people to go through? Which is why a whole lot of people are going through the Indomie part. If you are expecting maize, what you need to do is just sow in about 3 months down the line, you reap. But if you want to go through the parts of rubber, if you sow today, you're talking about years of waiting, years of waiting. But by the time one tree stands, the results you get, the money, what will come to you by the time you are able to make use of that one tree is going to buy a whole lot of what 10 years of planting, reaping, and selling corn or maize will give to you. So imagine you now having a plantation where rubber trees are all over, and someone has been planting year in, year out. Don't forget, maize is seasonal. It's seasonal. Most of the parts where majority though are parts that are seasonal. They make money within these 3 months and they wait until next year and make money another 6 months. They wait until next year. But when you start selling 10 years down the line, all they've made over the years, they end up giving you. Why? Because you now have something which is much more valuable and you have what a whole lot of people don't have, but which a whole lot of people need. So, while you are planning to become the best you want to be in life, while you are planning to get a whole lot of or to accumulate a whole lot of wealth to yourself so that the next generation doesn't suffer financially, and you need to begin to look at paths which a very few people follow and begin to follow that path through with patience, persistence, perseverance. And believe you me, at the end of it, you will be glad you did. Why? Because you have a very few people to contend with when it comes to the sharing ratio. So if you've not learned anything today, I need to know that the less road path is the path with the lots, with with the bigger volume of money. Avoid the crowd, avoid the path where the crowd follow, and follow through the path that is less traveled. That is where life is. Remember, if a generation failed in the place of finance, you cannot afford to fail the next generation. Fulfill purpose so you don't get depressed. Become financially free so you don't get frustrated out of the place of purpose. Make as much as you can, but make sure that whatever you are making out of life is something you are doing legally and morally. Till I come your way again, I remain Adekun Aderomi, popularly known as Kids. I need you to like this. I need you to comment. I want to hear from you. I need you to share. I need to subscribe. Let's build the community. Share across all social media platforms. And I will, and be sure to tell your those on your contact list, those in your circle to also subscribe, because a whole lot of this will be coming from me to you, and we have a whole lot of question and answer sessions. I would like to know what you are learning from the channel and how it's blessing you. How has it been able to improve your work rate and your results. Till I come your way again, stay blessed. Peace out.